Hennig. But to you people, I'm Mr. Perfect. And I know a lot of you people sitting there right now wonder what it's like to go through life without making any mistakes. No blemishes, no flaws. From head to toe, absolutely perfect. Yes, being perfect, it has its boring times. Like a simple game of billiards. Well, fool to you common people. Like I said,
Hey, Curt Hennig fans, hello and welcome to another episode of Nobody Beats Curt Hennig Nobody. I am your host, Mrs. Witchy Perfect. Here we are again. This is take 3 for me because I realized that you can't say a certain word that we're going to talk about later in the episode. We're going to do some backlash reviewing, just like I did on the Pro Wrestling Talk. I do apologize. I am not on camera again. I am recovering from a sinus infection, so I do apologize for that, but I don't look 100%, and I didn't want to, make my fans sad because, I wanted to do a show, but I just don't look the part yet. I don't look 100%, let's put it that way. But we are going to talk about Backlash. And again, if you'd like to check out Pro Wrestling Talk on Angel's show, his links are in the description field. Where we do, and I got to be fair, guys, trigger alert, but, I have to be fair to, Backlash. And I know there's a lot of fans out there for John Cena and stuff. I get it. I'm not a big John Cena guy, girl, I should say. I'm not a big John Cena girl. Really didn't like John Cena, not much for Roman Reigns. And don't get me started on AEW. Again, trigger alert for all those who like AEW. I'm sorry, but I do have to announce that there is a trigger warning here for anyone who likes AEW and all those people. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about John Cena's announcement. Yes, he had an announcement, and I didn't even know this because I don't watch SmackDown or Raw anymore. I'm sorry. I am really busy juggling a lot of things, guys. A lot of great things happening in my world here. And that's a good thing. It's just, I just have a lot of juggling, a lot of things on my plate. So I'm trying to do everything all at once. And unfortunately, it is what it is. All right. So we're going to talk about John Cena's announcement. We're going to watch a little bit of this, and then we're going to move on, I guess, to the Backlash. James does a great rendition of the Backlash review. I will give my 2 cents and my star ratings, just like I did on Pro Wrestling Talk. So here we go. Take it away, James.
Hello, everybody. James here. At WWE Backlash, there were 2 mysteries going into the show. One, what would John Cena's groundbreaking announcement be that most people figured out was going to be some kind of TKO corporate promotional thing regarding tickets or something else? Turned out to not be that whatsoever. The other mystery was what or who would be Danhausen's mystery tag team partner against The Miz and Kit Wilson. Apparently,
and I actually knew who this was, and I didn't even see this coming out. Like, Angel and I were talking over the text messaging, and I was saying, he was like, oh, who's going to be his mystery partner? Who's going to be with Danhausen? A lot of people were saying CM Punk. A lot of people were saying, Jelly Roll or whatever. Because the Backlash, I guess, from the continuation of WrestleMania, I guess, was supposed to be Jelly Roll and Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton and Pat McAfee. But, of course, that didn't happen because everyone's kind of injured, or I think Pat McAfee quit or something. But I told Angel, I said, what do you mean he has a mystery partner? And he's like, well, they don't know who I knew it was the mini guys. I knew it was that. I knew it had to be a mini guy. Okay. It had to be mini me, like from Austin Powers, right? It was mini Danhausen. I knew it. I said, Angel, it's got to be one of those mini me's. I call them mini me's. Mini Danhausens, I guess. Okay, so it had to be a mini Danhausen? Oh, come on. I was like, come on, really? I don't think he'd pick anyone else. I mean, I knew this going in. We knew this going in. So, all right, here we go. Anyway, more of this.
I talked about it on another video that's not here anymore because apparently it was such a big issue with YouTube that I was talking about the odds of who the most likely candidates were. But anyway, we got the answers to both of those mysteries at Backlash, and neither of the mysteries ended up going anything at all like most people, or practically anybody, I think, considered they would do. Not necessarily a good or bad thing ultimately. But we are going to talk about, in this video, John Cena's announcement. And I will actually have a full Backlash review tomorrow. I just didn't really have time to do one today, and I'm trying to sneak this video out while everybody else in the house is still asleep. But anyway, John Cena's mystery announcement had been hyped for a good couple of weeks. It got so hyperbolic at one point in the lead up to it that I immediately was convinced that this couldn't help but be a giant letdown short of John Cena announcing his return to the ring. WWE were plugging it hard. John Cena was plugging it so hard, they actually claimed the following 2 days beforehand.
In just a few days, I have a major announcement inside this building that is going to shock the very foundation of WWE.
You know, big words from Ernest there. Now, the big guess for me and most other people was that this shocking of the world announcement, whatever it was going to be fleshing out the Club WWE sign-up thing, which John Cena has personally been giving quotes and doing the advertising for on WWE television and socials, which is essentially, as best as I can tell, a glorified paid for pre-sale service so you can get access to VIP tickets first, which is kind of weird because VIP tickets, aside from the front row, don't exactly sell out immediately, as best I can tell. That's why you can still make pasta with Ethan Page and Maxine Dupree in Italy, or Clash in Italy, if you just stump up the 11,000 something odd dollars per person to do it. Anyway, just before the main event, John Cena comes out with his hair. I can't ever not make mention of his hair because of a couple of things, really. One, it's incredibly perfect. Two, it's got that kind of nutty brown, like Paul McCartney kind of dye thing. And then a couple with the suits, I was kind of asking myself, is he slowly morphing into Vince McMahon? He's kind of getting there anyway. But anyway.
Ouch.
John Cena comes out, and then he kind of starts yelling at somebody in the aisleway and pointing at them. I don't know if it was a second cameraman or whatever it might be, but he kind of just says, "You, whoever you are, get out the way because I talked to Stu and then I walked to the, through the aisleway. This is how we do it," kind of thing. Anyway, he gets into the ring. Cena grabs the microphone and then says he can enjoy moments now that he knows that nobody is about to run down and kick his teeth in, which in fairness, he would have known the plan several hours in advance. That's a long time to have to live with that kind of anxiety. Now, Cena then says it's a sold-out full show, full of energy, and it is absolutely not sold out, by the way, was Tampa. In fact, the building holds something like 18,000 people, and they sold probably 13,000. Now, the usual trick and how they kind of get around this is that they only release so many blocks of seats, and then if they all sell out, they say, well, we've sold out. I mean, you can just do one block of seats at the front in the entire arena and then claim you were sold out by that logic. But anyway, Cena teases the announcement and fans chant one more match. He says he thinks a lot about his final match and that he knows that some people didn't like the last match or how it ended. But he was satisfied because whoever his opponents what was going to be, they had to earn it through a tournament to feature. And also it was a pleasure for him to feature NXT wrestlers Sol Ruka, Javon Evans, and Oba Femi. No mention of Leon Slater, by the way. But anyway, fans chant Oba. They chant Oba later in his speech as well, which Cena does, acknowledge over and over again, which is very good. Cena does the Oba strut and people cheer.
And I like Oba Femi. I think Oba has a lot to offer. I'm going to keep my opinions brief because I just want to get this going along. This is the third time I've had to start this because I didn't realize you can't say a certain word. So again, because YouTube will get angry at you. So anyway, onward. I do think Oba has a lot that we have yet to see. I would like to see Jacob Fatu also stay in the championship picture or the main event picture. I think that Braun Breaker also, we need to see him in the main event picture here soon. So, all right, keep going.
When he mentions that Oba Femi beat Brock Lesnar, really sounds like Oba Femi is kind of here to stay in that sense, as far as, really getting the fans on his side. Cena was very happy with bringing new faces to WWE's main roster and that he wants to do it again. Then John Cena announces the John Cena Classic, best of today versus the best of tomorrow, featuring WWE versus NXT. An entire event. I was getting the word tournament out of this, but I'm not actually sure at any point he used the word I watched it twice. I don't think he says tournament at any time. I'm presuming it's a tournament. Anyway, Cena says it's a brand new event and a debut of a brand new championship as well. I don't know if this is going to be like the King of the Ring trophy or the Owen Hart Cup in AEW that you win, but you don't defend. You're just the champion for a year. Or it's a trophy or a belt that you do defend, like a trophy that is defended as the NXT Heritage Cup, for example, thereby bringing WWE's amount of championships decided and defended across all of its brands, including WWE and ID and Evolve, as 25 separate championships now. That would be the tally if this is kind of a defendable championship. Now, as Cena says, this isn't just a championship, an event. John Cena is putting his own name on the championship and the trophy, or whatever, kind of like the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy, I guess. John then says that this is the first time in history that fans' voices will be heard louder than ever before. Kind of ironic to say that line when WWE have hired a third-party company to remove various streamers and content on social media. Now, Cena says the audience will be the audience will be the ones to actually vote for the actual winner of the John Cena Classic, whether that's a tournament or not, I guess. And every participant qualifies to be voted for by the fans, whether they win their match or they don't win that match. Now, Cena says that the wrestlers' hustle in losing can still win your heart and still win your vote. But at this point, I'm already questioning the wisdom of this one, because this isn't, I mean, for starters, this isn't an entirely new concept by any stretch. There have been variations of fan or panel voting on a winner, regardless of whether somebody's shoulders were pinned to the mat, because there was like TNA's Gut Check Challenge, which I seem to remember people who lost got contracts out of that. Taboo Tuesday, where WWE did their best to manipulate the votes, and it constantly blew up in their faces. Then Cyber Sunday afterwards. I wrote ECW Cyber Sunday, but I think it was Cyber Slam, where fans decided on the matches coming up and where WWE stole the idea from. General fan poll voting, of course, on websites. Even WCW's website had fan poll voting for the best match of the night. The NXT voting system, where fans decided to an extent who won, which included Loki and Bryan Danielson. Honky Tonk Man's vote of confidence, which ended up turning him heel. But the fans actually didn't. I mean, I'm sure some fans wrote in, but they filmed 3 weeks of vignettes all in the same time and then just broadcast them over 3 episodes of WWF Superstars when they already knew what the answer was going to be, and they turned Honky Tonk Man heel. Anyway, essentially, John Cena has created a popularity contest. How do we know it'll be on the up and up? We don't know how that'll be on the up and up, if the votes are actually manipulated or not. How do we know that WWE won't attempt to structure the matches to manipulate your vote? You won't know that. I mean, you kind of will. You can kind of watch that, but we don't know at this point. But everybody has to qualify for entry, says John Cena, to the John Cena Classic by winning a match. That one, I guess, make that one make sense. You have to win a match. Well, in kayfabe terms, you have to win a match to be entered into a popularity contest where it doesn't matter if you win or lose the match. Then there's a tournament. I mean, it sounds like a tournament, but I'm still not sure it is a tournament. Maybe someone else said on the show that it was a tournament. I don't know. Where you either advance by fan voting, or you have an entire tournament and then the winner is decided by fan voting, or there's lots of people who have matches and it's not a tournament and every winner is decided by fan voting. Or maybe it's just not a tournament and you just have a bunch of matches where there's a winner by fan voting, and at the end of it, you vote on the winners. We're not sure what this is going to look like whatsoever. It's going to be very confusing already. But even in kayfabe logic, right? Does this mean that every single wrestler won't be going for the win because wins and losses don't matter, but looking to get as much of their shit in as humanly possible? If that's the case, how is that different from any other match? Also,
really
in kayfabe,
I'm gonna stop there. This tournament, this whole tournament, it just seems like a big waste of time, in my opinion. Because I guess I just didn't like it. Okay, I didn't like it. I thought it was a big waste of time. I can't say enough bad things about it because it sounds like the people who don't know how to wrestle but can get over with a gimmick are literally going to become the new stars of wrestling. And those who can wrestle and know how to wrestle and have their gimmicks over, well, I guess they're going to be pushed to the wayside or pushed out of WWE, I guess. So now we're going to get a full Backlash review. The Danhausen stuff I'm going to have to maybe cut out a little bit. But again, I knew it was mini Danhausen. I knew that because I said that. And I don't really watch SmackDown or Raw anymore. So I already, I could have guessed that. And I really didn't watch the whole, mystery partner thing. You know, I didn't really see any of that stuff. So, and I'm not being facetious here, I just knew, it was going to be a mini Danhausen. So anyway, here we go. Take it away, James. Backlash review.
Hello, everybody. James here. Now, this is the Backlash review from me. Backlash, of course, where a good couple of matches got cut from WrestleMania. Then they got pushed back a few weeks, and they ended up getting a lot more time on the Backlash show, which ultimately is for the best for everybody. And overall, I do absolutely recommend watching the show. Pretty good show, actually, from beginning to end. The advertising didn't absolutely murder the momentum like it has often done in shows, especially with WrestleMania 42. And also, Backlash had 5 matches instead of the usual 4, which actually made a huge difference to the pacing of the show. I mean, they still could have put 6 or 7 in, but, it made a huge difference to the pacing of the show, and it was nowhere near as much of a slog, and everything got time. I'm just turning my phone off because people keep calling me. Anyway, we'll go straight to the show start. The usual roll call of wrestlers, including Sami Zayn and Trick Williams and Oscar and Io Sky and Danhausen in his little car and Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns. But Roman Reigns wasn't the one who was doing the walk toward the camera like everybody else was. He was just being filmed while going over his match in the empty arena with the producer. Anyway,
yeah, really.
Video hype package.
Well, and no offense, trigger alert to any Roman Reigns fans. I'm not much for Roman Reigns. Sorry. I really tried, and I hope they keep Jacob Fatu in the main event, scene. And I hope Braun Breaker gets there too. Anyway, I will give my star ratings as we go along. Like I said, some of the Danhausen stuff I'm going to have to cut out because of a certain word, but that's okay. Well, here we go.
Somebody's in the intro and outro to this has accompanied the noise with a Geiger counter noise for whatever reason. But anyway, Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker is the opening match. Should have happened at WrestleMania, but there you go. Anyway, Seth starts off hot. Braun Breaker eventually stops playing along and looks the way more dangerous of the two. I am a big, big fan of Braun Breaker, by the way, if you couldn't guess by now.
Me too.
Wade Barrett on commentary mentions that Braun was injured as well as Seth Rollins, which makes me question if they've ever mentioned on television what Braun's injury was. It was a hernia, but they're kind of acting or being secretive like it was a concussion for some reason. Anyway, Braun Breaker's got a rear chin lock. Braun is calling Seth Rollins a self-centered piece of trash so that, the microphone can pick him up. And you know what? While he's doing nothing's a rest hold here. Everyone's, really working for it and not just, catching the breath kind of thing. The catching the breath will be Danhausen later. But anyway, it's really heartwarming to hear that the WWE crowd, instead of actually kind of just sitting on their hands, watching a rear naked chin lock or whatever it might be, they're really rallying for Seth to make a comeback at that point and get the advantage, which is just, it's one of those things where that has come back over the past few years in WWE, where rest holds were just something for people to be absolutely silent for a very long time. There's a bit where Braun is doing a running back and forth clothesline, and you can only see this actually. I don't know if this is a fan cam that I saw, but on the first duck, Seth just doesn't duck and Braun just punches him in the forehead. But Seth punches Braun in the forehead, but Braun's going so fast it doesn't really faze me. He runs through it. Braun nearly loses the first Frankensteiner attempt as Seth didn't go quickly enough. Not that obvious, but the fans totally spotted it. Then Seth misses a super kick while Braun is trying to hit the spear from the outside. I mean, it is a really good match, of course. But there were quite a few mistakes in it as well, which, of course, I'm always going to point out, because why not? Both beat the counts. Braun is trying to hit the spear on the outside. Both beat the count at 9 when they're outside, get back in the ring. Braun catches the curb stomp straight to a military press. There's
and here I'm going to give a brief, very brief star count or star rating. I gave this a 2.9 star rating only because I love Braun Breaker. I don't like Trigger Warning. I do not like Seth Rollins. For all you Seth Rollins fans, I'm sorry, but I just can't. He was screaming out moves, so you could definitely tell that he was, he was the leader of that match, and I don't like it. I didn't like it when John Cena did it. Trigger Warning. I do not like John Cena. So I just, for goodness sake, I just did not. I like the Braun Breaker stuff, and like I said, there was a little bit of a mistakes. That's okay. That's not what I'm basing my ratings on. I'm basing my ratings on the fact that it looked more of a wrestling move. The only part I didn't like, was like a wrestling match, I should say. It was a wrestling match. What I didn't like, though, I did not like when they used the tables. Don't use the tables, guys. It's not worth it. I just don't like when they use the tables. Okay, more of this.
Bit where Seth can't backflip through a Braun clothesline and then they collapse to the floor. They're trying to do a Will Ospreay kind of thing where it's almost like you get them in a rock bottom position and you sort of backflip over and then DDT or whatever.
Yeah, well, Trigger Warning, stop trying to be AEW. I do not like AEW, all right? Stop trying to be like those people.
But anyway, there's like a bit where they can't figure out what to do and they both collapse to the floor for a bit, and then they just talking back and forth really loudly to figure out what to do. And what ends up being done is a 10 punch in the corner into a buckle bomb. And then Braun just hits a clothesline for a double down. Jumping clothesline from the apron to the table on Seth, and they get tangled up in wires. Seth hits a suplex. And then another thing that's kind of just stands out is that Braun is the one who takes the suplex, but then immediately, without breaking the position, goes straight into a Falcon Arrow, which is obviously what Seth does. But Seth then gets hit. This is another interesting bit. Seth gets hit with a second Frankensteiner, and then Braun goes straight for a third, of which Seth reverses the third one. The third one being where he sort of flips over, lands on his feet. But what actually happens is that Seth's ankles on the second Frankensteiner get caught up on the top turnbuckle when he's trying to do a front flip. So that's why they ended up just going straight for a third one at that point. Anyway, Seth grabs a chair, the Vision run in, Seth runs them off. Braun hits a spear on Seth, but it wasn't a great spear, and Seth kicks out. And then Seth counters another spear into a pedigree and attempts a curb stomp from the second, but Braun spears again, hits the running spear for the win. Now, thankfully, the ads have mostly been cut out of my feed anyway, so all I can tell you is that they didn't seem anywhere near as bad as they normally were. Not that they're not always cut out from the feed anyway, but they just didn't seem as obtrusive. Anyway, Club WWE ad as well, which we're probably going to talk about in a little bit, but we go straight to Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. God, that feud's weird.
Yeah, I really didn't like this. I give it like half a star. I really just did not like this match. I'm not much for... I know people like Trick Williams, but I don't like all the gymnastics into, Trick Williams. And I don't like Sammy. Trigger Warning. I don't like any of these guys, so I gave it half a star.
Hopefully it's done by now, but Sammy has done nothing to get booed, realistically speaking, and he at some point maybe the booing because they unstitched his Fred Perry logo from the front of his jacket, but Michael Cole pegs Sammy as a bitter and jaded grizzled veteran who's running out of time to win a world title. Kathy Kelly then is interviewing Trick Williams backstage, like a pre-match promo. How weird is that? Because they used to do them all the time. I've not seen one, unless I'm probably forgetting one or two. But they don't really do them anymore. And I really like the pre-match interview just before you go out there. Anyway, they don't do it anywhere near as much as they used to, which is a shame, but I'm glad to see it on here. Another thing that's good as well is that they haven't done the dark lighting and the super mega introductions for the US title. That should really be reserved for world titles, in my opinion. Also, they don't really mention much regarding the gingerbread man stuff, aside from briefly in the show open, at least on my feed. Anyway, As for the match itself, it's just kind of there, really, as a match. The Gingerbread Man stuff has really been, calling it charitably, a bit weird, and the funeral for SmackDown was awful. Fans are booing Sammy, of course, on the basis that they are. And that's kind of part of the problem, really, because Sammy's not an out-and-out heel, and Trick is kind of the heel, but fans kind of like him. It's a bit muddled, this one. I'm not quite sure fans are really that invested. I'm certainly not. Anyway, the near fall finishes when Lil Yachty hits Sammy with the sugar cane kendo stick, and Trick badly misses a spinning kick, but that only gets a 2. Sammy then goes for the haluva kick and misses, and then Trick lands a trick shot for the win. More ads. Now they're just getting random fans to hold up signs for insurance companies now as well, like printed off like an old printer rather than like nice poster board. Anyway, the next match is the one that we're all going to be talking about here for a while. It is Kit Wilson and The Miz versus Danhausen and a mystery partner. Now, they do a really good pre-match promotional video to build up to everything, which does remind us that it was, in fact, Nick Aldis who introduced Danhausen to the Miz originally. So, in a way, he's kind of to blame for all this. Anyway, the heels make their entrance. Danhausen then makes his entrance in his little car and completely blocks the aisleway with it, which I'm kind of wondering if he meant to do that or not. He probably did. Anyway, he goes to the clone machine, which is that box from Elimination Chamber that Danhausen debuted out of, but with a glowing window in it now that has been introduced. And that was introduced on SmackDown on Friday. But they kind of, like, he's not actually that mic'd up, but it gets picked up. Anyway, he comes out, and it's Minihausen and Danhausen. Now, at this point, the crowd boo quite mightily on this one, because this is the second person who's come out of a box who they were absolutely not hoping it was going to be. On doing it, but yeah. At the end of it, Danhausen, Minihausen, and all the Minihausens are at the entranceway. The lights go.
Yeah, I didn't like this match. I gave it negative stars. Trigger warning. I'm not much for Danhausen. So sorry about that, but I'm not. I did not like this match, so I gave it like negative 5 stars. Anyway, I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and we'll come back with the match between. I didn't even see the match between Io Sky and Asuka. I was out playing catch with my son. That's how boring and how uninterested I was in Io Sky and Asuka. So I'm going to take a 5-minute break. We'll come back and hear the review about Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu
versus the champion Roman Reigns. So Let me just say this.
And trigger warning for my fans. I'm sorry. I don't like Roman Reigns. Trigger warning. I do not like Roman Reigns at all. Tried. Sorry. Just I can't get into Roman Reigns. Sorry.
Jacob Fatu is such a megastar in the making. Felt that way. I felt that way the second he debuted. And he looked like he belonged from the absolute off. Crowd have been good all night. So it's a good crowd, definitely helping with the show. But they're really, really hot for the main event. Also, just to reiterate, Jacob Fatu just turned 34 and he has 7 kids. Story of this match is Jacob Fatu is working the Tongan death grip, which he's just started doing the last few weeks. And also he said in interviews, as a tribute to Haku, he will not be renaming it anything else. But also, because, you know, Haku's kids from WWE, they're dropping like flies, as Bret Hart might say. Well, Talatonga's gone. Anyway, looks like Jacob is getting Haku's old finisher. So the other story is that Jacob, in the match anyway, could actually win the title, which is kind of obvious a story to tell. But nobody actually thought going in that Jacob was going to win this at all. So they had to work extra hard to give Jacob as much credibility against Roman Reigns, who's very much doing the whole invincible thing at the moment. Not quite to the Fiend level, but you know what I mean. Which they do admirably with Fatu. He's kicking out of one, eating up Roman, for considerable lengths of the match, which he does, and he's very believable. And I'll tell you what, the crowd is absolutely dead split 50-50 all the way through this as well. I'm not going to go through the whole match again, but Fatu is more on the case than Roman is, and then he gets a decided advantage when he power bombs Roman Reigns through the table. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just me. I don't think I saw one Slim Jim table on this PLE. Who knows? But they wash over me so much. Maybe I missed one. I don't know. But anyway, then we get to the finisher kick-out portion of the match, which we always do. It's a WWE main event. Why not? Fatu kicks out the spear. Reigns kicks out the moonsault. Fans actually boo this. Then some slugging out before Jacob hits the Tongan death grip again because he keeps going for it. But Roman drives Fatu into the referee into the corner. Then Roman hits a few Superman punches and a spear on Fatu, and Fatu kicks out again. Finish is this. Jacob is back to the Tongan death grip, but Roman rips off the turnbuckle pad while fighting Jacob Fatu. So very much multitasking there. The referee then watches Roman throw Jacob into the exposed turnbuckle, hit a spear, and count to 3. Bit of a stupid finish, really, because the Tongan death grip hasn't even really been properly established as a finisher. I mean, he's only...
Yeah, I mean, this was, in my opinion, this got 1 star because, again, trigger warning, I don't like Roman Reigns, but that's not even the half of it. Really, what I didn't like most of all about this is because they didn't protect Jacob at all. They literally let Roman Reigns pin him cleanly. It should have been like a disqualification or something like that. It should not have been this. That's what I did not like it. I told Angel I did not like it over text messaging. I give it, like I said, 1 star. I do like Jacob Fatu. I think he needs to stay in the main event scene. I really do. But this was awful. I thought this was completely awful. They didn't protect Jacob at all. And I told Angel, I really hope they don't push him back down, the card, just because I think he needs to stay in the main event scene. I really do. Jacob Fatu's got a lot to give to this company. I think we're going to get a lot of good main events out of Jacob Fatu. And, I could see maybe Jacob Fatu winning the belt. Again, you may not agree with me, and that's fine. You can leave your comments in the comment section, what you thought of this, or your star ratings, or how you would star these ratings, or rate these matches. But I just did not like this one. I thought they did not protect Jacob very well, and I just was not impressed.
Doing it a few weeks since WrestleMania 42, more or less. And he used it repeatedly in this match for absolutely no gain. Roman, it wasn't even like a mandible claw where it had like the paralyzing nature of it. Roman Reigns was bouncing all over the place trying to get out of it. Anyway,
and I think that they really didn't protect this move or protect Jacob in this, because it's going to be Jacob's move, I'm guessing. And everyone, for my younger audience, you don't remember Haku, go back and watch when he was Meng in WCW, and go back and watch the 80s and early 90s when Haku was even tag team partners with Andre the Giant. They were the Colossal Connection, and they were an awesome team. At least I thought so at the time. But you have, here again, we have, where they're not protecting wrestlers, they're not protecting their moves. I mean, Roman Reigns looked like a flopping fish all over the place trying to get out of this Tongan death grip, and that's not what that was for. That grip, that hold was a submission hold that would literally make wrestlers tap. And I just think they totally ruined it. He might as well not even use it anymore because it's not effective. So I'm very disappointed in this Backlash main event. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing there. And we will go to our main event, but I gave this match like 1 star because spoiler alert, or I should say trigger warning. Again, I'm not much for Roman Reigns. I never liked Roman Reigns. I tried to like Roman Reigns when he was sort of a babyface. And I think the crowd has sort of turned Jacob Fatu babyface as well. So this was kind of like a face versus face. And I think that Roman Reigns has been in the business for a long time. He has. And the fans used to boo him when he was a babyface. At first, when he turned babyface the first time, they told him to go home. They didn't like him. And they turned him heel right away because, again, he was a better heel. People loved to hate him. And they were chanting, please go home, please go home. And, Roman was like, even Roman was shocked at that point. Excuse me. Sorry, I had the hiccups. I just don't, I didn't like this match. I don't think they protected Jacob Fatu at all. and I hope they don't push him back down the card because he deserves to be in that main event scene. So does Braun Breaker. Eventually, Obafemi. I can see Obafemi being in that main event scene. Because Oba's got the look, and I think he's with a little more, a little more time, a little more effort. I think Oba's going to be something special. He could be the next Hulk Hogan. I'm not saying he will be. I'm just saying he could be. There's that. Oba's got that look. He's got that feel to him, and the crowd's behind him, and rightfully so. I mean, he has that look. He has the look of a true wrestler. He looks like a wrestler. He looks like the younger version of, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, when he first came in, they called him the next big thing. This could be Obafemi. And, it took, Brock a couple of years to get into that main event scene, but I think Obafemi could do that too. I really see a lot of great things from Obafemi, and I'm hoping that, that he keeps going, because I think he deserves it. But Jacob Fatu, I really felt bad for him. I told Angel, I said, this finish sucked. I hated it. I really hated it. I don't think they protected Jacob Fatu at all. They certainly didn't protect his move, the Tongan death grip. And he wasn't going to change it because he wants to honor his uncle, Haku. Again, for all those who don't know who I'm talking about, go back and look at 80s WWF. It was WWF at the time. And look up Haku. Haku was a great wrestler. And he was a legit tough bad guy. He was a badass, so to speak. What I fear most of all is that they're going to push Jacob back down the card. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that at all. I want to see Jacob flourish in that main event scene, possibly hold a belt or two. I think it would be great to see Cody Rhodes versus Haku. Yeah. Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu. I would love to see that match. I think there's a lot of stuff that Jacob could do with Cody and Cody could do with Jacob. I don't really know, a trigger warning, but I really don't have any respect for Roman Reigns right now, because I think he was in a movie and now he's back. And I told, Angel, I really don't want to see another 4-year title reign from Roman Reigns. That's just my opinion. Again, you can tell me your opinion down in the comment section. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing for YouTube. There was one word that came out that I didn't realize he said in the beginning of the Danhausen thing. And I don't want my video taken down because YouTube has their panties in ruffles. So anyway, I'm going to be take a 5-minute break, and I'll be right back with the main event. It is Nick Bockwinkel versus Curt Hennig. This is February 7th, 1985. The AWA, of course, and this is before they had some matches beforehand. So they had one in 84, they had one in 85. Eventually, Curt will become tag teamed with Scott Hall, and we will see the Long Riders versus Curt Hennig and Scott Hall. Of course, also we will see Jimmy Garvin versus Scott Hall and Curt Hennig, and with Precious, I think Precious was still around, but I think that, or was it Steven Regal? Sorry. Steven Regal and Jimmy Garvin, a handsome Jimmy Garvin, will actually go against. But then I think Steven wanted to leave. So eventually, and they talk about that match, the mystery match where Scott Hall and Curt became the champions. Scott says it did take place, but they showed a different match. They showed a non-title match, but they showed them celebrating at the end, I guess, because that was supposed to be the ending of that match was supposed to be where they won the titles. So anyway, I will be taking a 5-minute break, and I'll catch you on the flip side. All right. And we're back. So here we go. We're going to start with an interview with Curt Hennig. They did have one with Nick Bockwinkel, but I'd rather show the one with Curt Hennig. All right. So here we go. Take it away.
Coming up next week, right here on TSN, it will be former heavyweight champion Nick Bockwinkel going against Curt Hennig. And Curt, come on in, if you will. Now, Curt, Bockwinkel is on record. Promoters all throughout the country are talking about the fact that 1985 is seeing a new Nick Bockwinkel, very different, much more aggressive inside the ring, and in all honesty, willing to do about anything to win.
Well, that's exactly right. The people have seen what the man can do in the past, and this is something I've studied on. You know, I've been around professional wrestling all my life with my dad in it, and I've followed Nick Bockwinkel for a long time, and I know what the man can do, and I know what can be done about him. I've wrestled the man one time before. It came out in a draw. This is something I'm really looking forward to for the simple reason, a win over Nick Bockwinkel. He held that AWA Heavyweight Championship belt for 8 years. A win over him right now in my career would project me right up into the ratings.
Well, Curt, you've got to be going into this with a great deal of more confidence, already having wrestled Bockwinkel to a draw.
Well, the problem is he actually, I think, loses this match.
I've watched the films, I've trained, and believe me, I am ready, Ken.
All right, fans, that match coming up next week. A 30-minute time limit. Introducing first, out of Beverly Hills, California. He weighed in at 248 pounds. The former heavyweight champion of the world, Nick Bockwinkel. And his opponent at 236 pounds, out of Robertsdale, Minnesota, Curt Hennig. Your referee, Eddie Sharkey, now down the Blackjack Lanza.
Well, there's no love lost between these two wrestlers. Nick Bockwinkel, of course, the next heavyweight champion of the world for a number of years, 8 years to be exact. And Curt Hennig is a rising young star. He's already a star. There's no question about it. The son of Larry the Axe Hennig.
And as you certainly are well aware, there is no love lost between yourself and Nick Bockwinkel, and certainly no love lost between Nick Bockwinkel and Curt Hennig.
No, there certainly isn't. I used to be a member of the Weasel family, and of course Nick Bockwinkel and I were close friends at one time, but no more. After the breakup of, I think I was instrumental in getting rid of the Weasel.
I would certainly say so. These two men, sometime back, the great feather Curt Hennig's cap wrestled to a time limit draw. Anytime you do that against the ex-heavyweight champion, it's a feather. Now, surprisingly, Nick Bockwinkel extending a hand, offering to shake hands with the younger Hennig, and I don't blame Curt for being very, very cautious indeed.
Well, here you have an individual, Nick Bockwinkel. He knows all the tricks there are in the book. He wrote a lot of them himself.
No, Curt, don't do it.
What he's
the trick.
Do, I think I know, and I'm sure Curt Hennig knows. He's not going to be. I thought he was going to shake with him, but the fans are cheering him on not to get close to him, and Nick is just standing there.
Blackjack, we've seen in 1985, we've seen a different Nick Bockwinkel. Much more vicious, much more aggressive than I've ever seen before. And I don't blame Curt Hennig for being very cautious about this.
Well, he gave Bockwinkel his answer. Right?
That was Stig It. Stig It,
Bockwinkel, you're right. He has become much more aggressive. I think because of his losing the championship to Jumbo Ceruto. And he's anxiously waiting a match with Rick Martel, of course, the heavyweight champion of the world.
Collar elbow hookup, both men against the ropes, and Bockwinkel surprisingly both very clean.
He's done that in the past. He's trying to set up his opponent, but Curt not buying it.
Curt Hennig returns the favor.
Somewhat.
A very surprising start to this one, but I have a feeling it's going to heat up very quickly.
Rest assured it will.
Now, back in the ropes they go again. Curt Hennig again ready to deliver a blow, but they back away again.
The thing about Nick Bockwinkel, he's always in tremendous shape. He's 245 pounds, 250 pounds, and he is solid. And he can wrestle for an hour, full speed.
Now we see the Nick Bockwinkel we expected. Lord Curt Hennig relaxed and went right after him.
He saw his chance, and he doesn't miss many of them. When he sees the opening, he'll go for it.
Forearm right to the bread basket. And the second one lifts Curt right off his feet. Wow, blow right to the top of the head. Drops Hennig to one knee. Another forearm to the midsection.
He's not too particular where they land, as long as it's somebody else's body.
You can see the aggressiveness, the disdain in the eyes of Nick Bockwinkel as they stand right above us here at ringside.
Well, he's not about to let Curt Hennig off this ledge.
Now Hennig comes right out, almost on top of us.
Nick Bockwinkel is very proud of himself.
Bockwinkel for 7.5 years, heavyweight champion of the world. So as you said, Jack, he knows it all inside that squared circle. And he saw his first opportunity.
I see what his attack is now. It's mainly to keep with the stomach. He's pounding him on the stomach. He's kicking him in the stomach. He's trying to knock the window. He's trying to wear him down. And if Curt Hennig is not in the best condition of his life, he's going to get wore down and get beat.
Now he throws Hennig right outside of the ring. Again, shows his disdain not only for Curt Hennig, but for the great crowd on hand here at the Winnipeg Arena.
He's treacherous, and he's cocky, and he was a champion for many years. And to beat him, you've got to be on the top of your game. I don't care who you are.
Great action right here, and remember that tremendous main event still to come. There you see a close-up look at Nick Bockwinkel. Hennig now working to his knees. Obviously stunned. It was very obvious, Jack Lanza. Nick Bockwinkel waited, spotted his opening, and the minute he got it, has not let up on the younger Curt Hennig. Now Bockwinkel goes outside the rope.
And he's not going to let up on him. If Curt can come back, get that ring, and stop the Nick Bockwinkel some way and start on the offensive, that's his only chance. Because if he doesn't, Nick Bockwinkel is going to beat him and beat him down.
Like Bockwinkel's style or not, Jack Lanza, to hold the heavyweight championship of the world for 7.5 years, he could just about do it all.
Well, he's had 150 matches a year during those years, maybe for some time, and just tremendous amount of wrestling. Grew up in a wrestling family. His father was a great wrestler. He's been wrestling since he was 5 years old, and it shows.
Eddie Sharkey trying to warn Bockwinkel, but Bockwinkel seemingly could care less.
One thing about Bockwinkel, he knows just how far to push the referee.
Now he goes right back, still unable, Curt Hennig, to get back inside of the ring. Bockwinkel goes to the total opposite corner as ordered by the referee.
I'm a little concerned for Curt Hennig at this moment.
Now what's Hennig going to do? Hennig comes up swinging, still outside of the ring, but hammers away at Bockwinkel. Now look at that play move. Slingshot with Bockwinkel's neck like that top ring rope. Now he's got Bockwinkel down. Hennig hammering away from outside of the ring.
He's not in a very good position.
Get him, Curt. Get him.
Elbow. And again.
The referee is out trying to get him in. Now Curt's in.
You can see Bockwinkel's head just snap back and forth as he lay across the ring apron. Now Hennig choke him across that lower rope.
He's got to be concerned about getting disqualified doing something like that. It's got to be on his mind, and he did break before the 5 count.
And at the same time, Bockwinkel's got to be wondering. He thought he had Hennig down and out, but suddenly the young man from Robbinsdale came back like a house of fire.
I think it surprised him a little bit. He didn't think he was going to have that hard a time with Curt.
Shot to the neck area. And Curt Hennig plays patty cake with Nick Bockwinkel's head on that one.
I think he's showing Bockwinkel a few things he's not expecting from this young man, I tell you.
Jack, you've been in that ring so many times. What goes through your mind after delivering the kind of beating Bockwinkel started off to Hennig and have Hennig come back suddenly seemingly?
Well, I'll tell you, there's nothing but contempt and hatred in Hennig's mind. And Nick Bockwinkel, at this time, is trying to get to the rope, but Curt stopped him before he could get there to take a breather because he is taking a beating himself.
Come on, Curt. Reverse chin lock. Let's go, Curt. You're talking to him, Curt. Yeah, you can see the mouth moving. So he's definitely, and he would hide it in the hair, you know? He would hide it in Nick's hair so he could tell him, hey, Nick, what are we doing next? Okay, we're doing this, kid.
In the least 2 knees to the back area. Referee Eddie Sharkey now orders him back.
Curt Hennig's been with a lot of tough wrestlers over the last 2 or 3 or 4 years. And he's in one of the best right now.
That he is. Nick Bockwinkel, former world champion out of Beverly Hills, California.
He just looks like he's from Beverly Hills, doesn't he?
He does. Now he goes, look at that.
Middle Yes. Way to move it out of the way, Curt. Come on, Curt.
I don't know if Curt saw that he hit the post. Oh, he does. He's going right for that shoulder and the arm.
Get him. Come on, Curt. Oh, yeah. Get him. Sick him.
He found a weak point on the former champion. He puts it around. He goes right.
Yeah, come on, Curt.
Hennig alertly going for that injured area.
Bockwinkel is definitely hurt. He is definitely hurt. As I've seen him hurt many times, but I can see it in his face right now. He is hurt.
Now Hennig just tries to snap that shoulder right out of joint. Enough pressure, Blackjack. He can easily dislocate that shoulder.
You know, he's going to have to go get his shirt tailored because that one sleeve is going to be a little short, and that surely is after this.
Referee Eddie Sharkey checking with the former champ to see if he has any inkling towards a submission, but
I don't think he can answer.
Nick Bockwinkel does not give up.
Well, I've never seen him give up yet, and I don't expect I ever will.
But Curt Hennig has certainly proving early on that he can stay with some of the very best in professional wrestling, and certainly the very best here in the AWA, truly the major league of professional wrestling.
You're certainly right. And anybody who's ever seen Curt Hennig wrestle knows for a fact that this young man is one of the bright, bright stars of the future of professional wrestling. He's there now. He's held his own with the top. Well, here's the next heavyweight champion just a few months back, and he's holding his own and giving him all he wants.
Now look at Hennig continuing to rock back and forth, trying to pull that shoulder. Totally dislocated, pull it right out of the socket.
Well, many wrestlers have been content to sit there and stretch on it and pull it. He wants to get an added dimension, more power. And Nick Bockwinkel, of course, he's not happy with that. He wants to get out of there.
Believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, there is absolutely no love lost between Curt Hennig and Nick Bockwinkel.
They've had a few battles, haven't they, over the last few months?
As we mentioned earlier on, last time out, the two wrestled to a time limit draw that was action from, as I recall, from before the opening bell. Now Nick Bockwinkel trying to work to his feet. That's really his only opportunity to break this hold if he can get up to his feet.
Well, Ken, for every wrestling hold, there's a counter. If he can get around and, there's one of his counters. The referee's not buying it, though.
Curt Hennig whips him right back down.
Anything's a counter if you can get out of the hold. There's another opponent has on you.
Now, interestingly, Curt has held his hold now for approaching, I think, 2 to 2.5 minutes, Jack. And at the same time, it's giving Hennig a chance to regain his strength. But Bockwinkel literally tried to roll out, but Hennig, rested, was able to counter and go right to a hammerlock.
Well, he regained his strength for sure because he came right back and had the hammerlock. Here's the interesting hold right here.
Oh! Look at that, Bockwinkel lifted right up off the mat.
Well, if he hadn't lifted up, you'd have had that arm out here on the floor. It hit it toward right out of the socket. Tremendous pressure on that shoulder and arm.
A number of years ago, Curt Hennig won Wrestler of the Year honors in the Pacific Coast Wrestling Association, and the reasons are becoming more and more obvious here tonight.
Well, he had a good teacher, his father, Larry the Axe Hennig, and his another wrestling family. Great amateur wrestler, high school, college, great football player. Just an excellent all-around athlete. And it shows.
At times, Curt, I know, is very, very proud of the fact that he is a rare father and son tag team combination, teaming with his father, Larry the Axe, performs at the double axe attack.
Right, they are very formidable.
Now, Bockwinkel back Hennig into the ropes. Referee calls for the break. Now, let's see. Bockwinkel's got a hold of it. Curt Hennig's hair. Turns it around and hammers away. But look at Curt, right back and turns the play with a blow of his own to Bockwinkel's midsection. Bockwinkel just breaks across that top rope. Now, what's Hennig going to do? Curt going outside of the ring. Oh! Uses that top rope as a slingshot on Bockwinkel's shoulder joint. And that took the former champion right to the mat.
Certainly did. Right back to that arm. And there's a weak spot on Nick Bockwinkel right now. It's his arm. And with that maneuver, right into the turnbuckle.
Again, Curt Hennig not forgetting it. A while back, Bockwinkel's shoulder went into that steel ring post. Right above us now. Hennig with a judo chop of his own, whips Bockwinkel across and into that turnbuckle. Oh! But there's the experience of the former champion as Hennig ran into that knee.
Quick as a snake.
Bockwinkel going for the cover, has his foot on that second rope. The referee saw it and ordered the break. Very alert with the referee, Eddie Sharkey.
Well, many times referee is down counting, and you can't see everything. It's a very tough job refereeing. It's extremely tough to catch everything that's going on, especially with a veteran wrestler like Nick Bockwinkel.
Now he picks up Hennig, or a body shot, slides him down on the mat. Again, goes for the cover. Hennig throws him off at the count of one.
He's right for the hair. He's not about to let him get away.
Picks him up again. And again, he actually drives him to the mat.
The ring jumped about 2 feet in the air.
Going for the cover, but Curt throws him off again. Bockwinkel would seem very anxious to try and gain a quick pin here, Jack, and get out of this one.
Well, he sees his spot, so naturally he wants to end it as soon as he can.
Now, look at him. They go toe-to-toe for a minute. Hennig now with a headlock. Bockwinkel throws him off. Bockwinkel drops down. But both men, a double shoulder block, and that took a toll on both men as they're both down. The referee begins to count them both out.
Kind of surprised both of them, I think. Bockwinkel was thinking he was doing something else, and Curt was flying off 90 miles an hour, and he heard the collision.
Count of 9. Now Bockwinkel with an abdominal stretch. It's a submission. Oh, you see referee Eddie Sharkey checking with Curt.
It's very difficult to get out of something like this either.
Bockwinkel came up behind him, saw the opportunity, and went right for it.
He has got Curt Hennig hooked. He's got the leg around his leg, under his, by his ankle. He's got his arm around Curt's arm and hooked around his head. It's not, well, Curt, as I said, there's always a counter for every hold. Looks like he's trying to get him into a hip toss, and he did it.
Block takedown, tosses him right over.
A lot of pressure on Curt's back, a maneuver like that, but he had the guts and the stamina to just go for it, and he got it.
Bockwinkel comes right back, doesn't let up for an instant. Now look at Curt Hennig. He went right for the same one. He's got the abdominal stretch on the former champion.
That was a pretty good idea. He put one on him.
Great move.
Bockwinkel's got him by the hair. The referee doesn't see it.
He's concentrating after him. He wants to submit. Bockwinkel pulled his head close enough where he's able to place it with that elbow. It's a hold, did its damage.
Bockwinkel is hurt and he looks a bit tired, but he's going right after Curt Hennig, and Curt Hennig's not much better shape.
This one's been going now for 15 minutes, and it's been fast and furious.
They haven't been taking it easy on each other, I'll tell you that. Old Curt just sitting down here watching them.
They put right down on the mat. Again, surprisingly, Blackjack, as soon as Bockwinkel gets Hennig shoulders to the mat, he immediately goes for a pin. He wants to get out of it. Look at that, he missed.
It's a beautiful maneuver.
A stomach drop, and Bockwinkel right down.
Come on, Curt. 1, 2. Nope.
Almost 3. I thought it was a definite 3 count, but referee could know it was 2.
Curt Hennig now goes right back after. What's he going to do now? Shot to the sternum area, drops Bockwinkel right to his feet.
Look at Bockwinkel's eyes, they're glassy.
There they are, and Curt Hennig kicks away that chest area.
Bockwinkel would like to be at a swimming pool in Beverly Hills right now, I believe.
I think he'd like to be anywhere but in the middle of this ring with Curt Hennig, as Hennig continues to hammer away.
Well, if he thought he was going to have an easy match with this Curt Hennig, he's sadly frustrated.
Look at that, all the way across the ring, right above us. Hip rock takedown, goes for cover now. Count of 2, and again coming very, very close. Throws him right back down, a second count of 2. Bockwinkel, like him or not, Jack, is one of the most resilient wrestlers in the business today.
I've seen him beat from pillar to post when he was a champion and come back and 1 split second pin his opponent and retain the championship. He is extremely cagey and crafty.
Now what's he going to do? He worked on his knees to try and Hennig, and there's your answer. As he 2 shoulder blocks right to the midsection. The third.
He's not about to let him get out of that corner.
Now he pulls him right across by the hair and throws him right out of the ring area. Curt landed very, very hard on this floor at the Winnipeg Arena. There's boards covering the ice surface used by the Winnipeg Jets, so it's very, very hard.
Nick Bockwinkel took that opportunity to get a breather in the center of the ring. He fell down. He's tired, but he's not about to quit. He's not a quitter. No matter what you think of, he's not a quitter.
That, I think everyone that knows Bockwinkel, like him or not, Jack Lancer, would certainly agree with.
And you got the Bulldog out on the floor here. He's not quitting either. It's a tremendous match. Many people really enjoying this.
No, he's not. Bockwinkel slams his head off that ring apron. You can see Bockwinkel using this opportunity as well to try and catch his breath. You can see how hard he's breathing up in that ring.
Trying to teach the referee how to count.
But meanwhile, giving Curt Hennig valuable seconds to regain his own breath.
Maybe his downfall. Might not be as smart as he thinks he is.
Now he goes back after him, and again hammers away. Referee trying to order him back.
He's a very... Whenever Nick Bockwinkel is in a match, he's testing the referee constantly. The referee has got to be on his toes. He's liable to punch him in the nose. He gets mad enough.
Oh, they're going toe-to-toe now, chin to chin. Eddie Sharkey is certainly keeping extra control of this match, doing a fine job.
He really is. Very tough job.
2 times they go to the top of that turnbuckle. There's some padding in the center, but when you go to that top, there's no padding up there whatsoever.
Believe you me, in this ring right here, I've hit my head and torn my head open many a night. This is Shane around there, and the padding doesn't help one bit.
Bockwinkel again telling referee Eddie Sharkey only went to a 5.
I suspect he'll try to get him in and pin him now because he's got him hurt. He keeps hammering him.
But Curt Hennig is coming back with some haymakers of his own.
He's had about enough of it.
And seems to be getting the better of Bockwinkel. Now he returns the favor. 3, 4. Listen to the crowd count it down. 10 times. And look at Nick Bockwinkel. He's out on his feet. Bockwinkel's got to be wondering right now just what went wrong. Another haymaker. Hennig's still outside the ring. But now Bockwinkel misses. And Hennig goes right back after him. Shots himself into Bockwinkel's midsection. Listen to the crowd roar its approval. A great crowd on hand. 20 minutes into this bout. Bockwinkel pulls him into the ring. Of course, for a cover, trying to use it. Lower rope for added leverage.
Keeps moving, he keeps moving. He keeps moving, staying away from Bockwinkel.
Yeah, he counted 3.
He got him.
Yeah, he counted 3. You didn't see the stuff on the ropes.
Bockwinkel got him for a 3 count.
Yeah, you didn't see him on the ropes. All right. So that is our main event. It was Curt Hennig versus Nick Bockwinkel. Nick Bockwinkel got the pin at the end because he did not see the referee did not see Nick Bockwinkel's legs on the ropes. All right. That is the end of our show. Now it is time for everyone will hear the shameless plugs and, of course, the AI song that I created for Curt at the end here. So I hope you enjoyed this week. Again, I'm not going to be on camera. I almost didn't do the show because I just was not feeling good this week because my sinuses have been, my allergies, but mostly my sinuses have been just atrocious right now. So anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed it. And, well, we'll see you back here next week for another episode of Nobody Beats Curt Hennig. Nobody. And remember, everyone, nobody beats Mr. Perfect. Nobody. Bye, guys. Hey, Curt Hennig fans. Hello, and welcome to the Shameless Plugs. I wanted to do an updated version because I no longer have Patreon. I don't know if anyone has seen and down in the description field. The first shameless plug I would like to do is for my Cash App and my PayPal account. If you can donate, please, please, please donate today. I actually had one donation, but that was more for my birthday. So anyway, if you can donate, please see the links in the description field for my PayPal and my Cash App. I'd like to start off by saying also, and I will say this at the end, I have an AI outro that is AI generated. I actually made a country song dedicated to Curt. I made several. Just in case there also maybe in the future or right now is going to be an AI intro. So I just want to let you know that the intro also could be AI, and this is for Amazon. Excuse me. This is for YouTube only. YouTube only. So the first shameless plug I would like to do is Kit Cabello. He is one of my great, great friends. Excuse me. I love him to death. And what a great man, great guy, all around great friend as well. You can catch him on Heartlands Media. That's 9 a.m. Central, Monday through Friday, and he will tell it like it is. Trust me, he will tell it like it is. Can't say enough great things about Kit Cabello. Also, check out Angel Riviera. He is in Angel in the Afternoon, and of course, he is my host for Pro Wrestling Talk. Pro Wrestling Talk is every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though those are scheduled to change due to family issues or WrestleMania or a pay-per-view. Also, I would like you to, but definitely check out Angel in the Afternoon. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and he also tells it like it is. Way to go, Angel. Okay, on to deconstructing topics. My big brother, Dave. I can't say enough great things about Dave. He is a big supporter of mine, and I'm a big supporter of him. If you check out Deconstructing Topics, he has his own show. I'm not sure what episode he's on right now, but he has a great podcast. Please, please, please listen to it. You can check it out on YouTube. I don't know if he's on Rumble, but I'll see if I can get a Rumble link. All these links are in the description field if you want to check these people out. Also, I'd like to mention my little kid brother, Alex Knight. We are actually not really related, but I see him like a little brother. So anyway, Alex Knight, you can find him on Angel in the Afternoon. You can also catch him on Pro Wrestling Talk. And I think he's going to do a baseball podcast with Angel as well. So check that out. That'll be on Sundays. I'm not sure the time. I'll have to get that from Angel later. But I just want to make sure that you check him out because he is a great person and someone I can call friend and little brother. The next shameless plug I'd like to do really fast is Black Magic Talk is my other show, guys. If you would like to check that out, all you have to do is click the link in the description field, and blessed be to you if you are also a witch, wizard, or warlock, or whatever you call yourself. You can check that out in the description field. We have a lot of fun over there. I love to have on special guests, especially Sonia Smith. She's a very dear friend of mine. I hope you will subscribe to all these people on YouTube or on Rumble. We are also on Rumble. The Rumble description field, the link is in the description field. Sorry. If you would like to check that out, this will be going on YouTube, of course, because I don't need this for Rumble. I could put it on Rumble. I think I might. So if you are on Rumble watching this and you would like to see the YouTube version of this, it's mostly audio that you will see, except for this part, right? Just check us out on YouTube. The link is in the description field. And again, if you want to check out Black Magic Talk, you can check that out too, where we talk everything pagan and Wiccan. There is no evil or black magic, of course. It's all great fun, and we have a good time. If you like a personal tarot reading from me, click the link in the description field below. I can get you my, my pricing and stuff. If you would like to be a guest on the Black Magic Talk, or if you'd like to be on Pro Wrestling Talk, you can DM me on X. My X is in the description field for both Black Magic Talk and for Curt Hennig podcast. Go ahead and hit those in the description field and DM me, and feel free to ask if you'd like to be a guest. If there's anything else, concerns, or if you would like to just give feedback, you can always DM us on X and so on. Just want to mention my Cash App and my PayPal account are in the description field. If you can give to the show, great. If not, please enjoy the show. That's what we are mainly here for, just for your entertainment purposes only. And again, I will reiterate that the AI outro song is AI generated. That is for everyone, for Rumble and for YouTube. Also, there could be an AI intro song. Just want to let you know that if there's ever an intro song, it is AI generated on YouTube. I created a couple of songs here and there, a couple of country songs I think that Curt would like. So I hope you check those out. And remember, everyone, nobody beats Mr. Perfect or Curt Hennig. Nobody.
I remember those nights in the TV glow, watching you a hero in the ring. With every match, you'd steal the show, making us believe in impossible things. Golden locks and a confident stride, wrestling through battles both big and small. With a perfect plex, you turned the tide. Mr. Perfect, you had it all. Oh, Mr. Perfect, where'd you go? In our hearts, you still steal the show. In a world that's moved too fast, your legacy's meant to last. Behind the glitz and all the fame was a man with strength and grace. Though we never knew your name, you left a mark time can't erase. I can still hear that entrance theme echoing through arenas and TV screens. A legend in his prime and dream, you remain in all our scenes. All on the nights when stars glow bright, I think of you and you feel this fight. Gone too soon, but still inside. Mr. Perfect, you are a guiding light. Oh, Mr. Perfect, where'd you go? In our hearts, you still steal the show. In a world that's moved too fast, your legacy's meant to last. Oh, Mr. Perfect, where'd you go? In our hearts, you still steal the show. In a world that's moved too fast, your legacy's meant to last. Behind the glitz and all the fame was a man with strength and grace. Though we never knew your name, you left a mark time can't erase. Though we never knew your name, you left a perfect, you